downtown is really becoming a neighborhood.
We are looking into the state of downtown after this year's conference studying the trends.
After a beautiful end to the work week, we're talking a hot, sunny weekend and a little bit of wind along with it.
The Trump administration publishes a list of sanctuary counties to target, and Spokane is on it. So are other eastern Washington counties. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Our Boomtown series explores growth in the Inland Northwest, and this morning the Downtown Spokane Partnership hosted their annual State of Downtown event, reflecting on downtown's progress and recognizing individuals who help make an impact in the city's core. KREM 2's Christian Garza shares what the city plans to do to attract more people to downtown.
Today, city leaders and the Downtown Spokane Partnership came together at the Spokane Convention Center Centennial Ballroom right here behind me to not only celebrate the progress that's been made to revitalize downtown Spokane, but to highlight the work that still needs to be done moving forward.
Despite seeing record-breaking numbers of tourism here in the Lilac City this past year, business owners and city leaders are still trying to think of new ways to not only bring more visitors to the city, but to get locals to spend time downtown as well. At today's event, which was themed Downtown Love Story, multiple speakers like Mayor Lisa Brown and Downtown Spokane Partnership CEO Emily Cameron spoke to the room full of people about the things they love about downtown and what makes it special, leading up to a conversation about what improvements the city can do to make Spokaneites fall back in love with downtown, like creating more murals and putting up lights, while also leaning into things that make Spokane unique, like the Garbage Goat, the Big Red Wagon, and of course, the Spokane River.
We're fortunate in that we have a beautiful downtown. We have an incredible place that's taken decades of work to curate and build, but things don't just continue to grow without careful grooming and coordination, and this year has really shown us how important it is that we continue to look at opportunities to be intentional.
Leaders credit some of the growth they've seen downtown in 2024 to the Clean and Safe teams created through the Brown administration and the Downtown Spokane Partnership, which have cleaned up literal tons of garbage. Cameron shared the main goal moving forward is to bring more housing downtown to increase foot traffic, which will eventually bring more businesses and money to the city's economic engine. Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Well, the weekend is finally here, and so is the hot weather. Let's get outside right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, today felt warm, and tomorrow's going to be noticeably warmer.
Yeah, it's another one of those scorching days where we're in the upper 80s across most of the Inland Northwest. Today, no slouch, 78 degrees, about where we expected to top out. And those temperatures in the upper 70s are just teasing us with what's to come tomorrow. We go from 78 in Spokane and 79 in Deer Park, 80 in Coeur d'Alene and Pullman, low 80s out in Central Washington, to 90s in Central Washington, mid to upper 80s in Eastern Washington and North Idaho, and near 90 down in Lewiston. It is going to be a big-time warm-up ahead of a frontal boundary that takes over. And along that frontal boundary, we're going to see an uptick in wind. Strong wind gusts out of the Cascades are prompting wind advisory for the lee side of the mountains, and then down in the Lewis and Clark Valley as well. We're going to see gusts approach 50 miles per hour tomorrow evening, and Kittitas County has the chance to see wind gusts up near 60 tomorrow afternoon and night. But you gotta zoom out to find our next system, and it sits well off the coast, but here's our frontal boundary, and as that moves in, we see all that change, but what we don't see is much in the way of moisture. We'll have a little more moisture in the atmosphere, but I don't think we have anything to worry about in terms of rain. It's nothing but sunshine the next 3 days. 87 tomorrow, 74 on Sunday, and staying mild on Monday as well.
Show. New today, a Spokane dermatologist indicted by a federal grand jury for misusing more than $1 million in COVID money has been cleared of all charges. Dr. William Phil Worshler's lawyers held a news conference today to announce the government's dismissal of criminal case against him at his Spokane dermatology clinic. His lawyer says the outright dismissal of the case with prejudice, meaning it cannot be filed again in the same court, is extraordinarily rare. They say the case started because the company's bookkeeper embezzled more than $1 million and created fake emails, texts, and financial records to fool the CPAs who oversaw the company's finances. She pleaded guilty to felony wire fraud and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Dr. Worshler maintained his innocence throughout the case and said he is grateful to be exonerated by the dismissal of the criminal charges. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office said today's settlement balances a just outcome and need to protect public funds with the unique facts of this matter. The Department of Homeland Security today put hundreds of cities and counties across the country on notice they are violating federal immigration law. The Trump administration just released a list of what it calls sanctuary jurisdictions. And as KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy joining us live in the newsroom tonight shows us, Shannon, most of the state of Washington was included on that list.
Yeah, Mark, there are several Washington cities on the western side listed, and all but 4 counties in the state on this list. Spokane County, one of those considered by DHS to be obstructing enforcement of immigration law. KREM 2 News reached out to the county, it said that it was following all state and local laws. Now, only 4 Washington counties did not make the list. That is Douglas, Klickitat, Adams, and Yakima counties, though the city of Yakima is included. Washington has its own sanctuary law, the Keep Washington Working Act. It restricts how much local law enforcement agencies can aid federal immigration enforcement. So, for instance, city or county officers cannot interview or detain suspected undocumented immigrants. County jails in Washington can't be used for immigration detention. Washington State is suing Adams County for violating this law. Attorney General Nick Brown says deputies illegally held people based solely on immigration status. Shortly after President Trump was reelected, Klickitat County Sheriff Bob Songer posted a message on Facebook saying the U.S. was being, quote, absolutely invaded by illegal immigrants. Here's his December message to Immigrations and Customs Enforcement.
I want to send a message to the ICE. If you need any help at all, put me on speed dial. We will be there to help you. We will not protect criminals, illegal criminals that are in our country, the drug dealers, the human trafficking.
Now, at this point, it's unclear why Douglas and Yakima counties did not make the list. DHS said sanctuary jurisdictions were determined by compliance with federal law enforcement, if they restricted information to ICE, and if they have legal protection for, quote, illegal aliens. Now, the list was put together under an April executive order from President Trump, the same order that says jurisdictions on the list may lose federal grants or contracts for not complying. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Shannon, thank you very much. A rollover crash involving a garbage truck shut off power to homes near the Spokane International Airport today. It happened at around noon along South Grove Road. Our crew on the scene found that truck flipped onto its side, bent road signs, along with snapped power poles. We are working to learn more about what caused that crash and the condition of the driver tonight. The Northside Transfer Station and Recycling Center opening back up today. It was shut down yesterday after Spokane County officials say something in the back of a person's pickup truck started releasing what they described as white gas. Spokane County Fire District 4 and the Washington State Department of Ecology are investigating. The county says nobody was hurt. We have a lot more news still ahead on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight, including a look at Elon Musk's last day in Washington and what the president says happens next with the Department of Government Efficiency. And a Washington woman held in ICE custody for months has been released. We have her story at 5:17 tonight.